Greetings, disc golfers. KWK here, and today I am up for testing out what's in my bag for the season. It's pretty much a driving type of practice that I do every season when it starts getting really good disc golf weather, and you're in the mood for some disc golf. I kind of make it a tradition that, once it's nice out and there's a perfect day for it, I like to drive everything in my bag that I keep on me. Putters, mids, drivers. And what I end up doing is I get myself a rollaway measuring tape, and what I did, which you'll see in the video, I put my mobile basket a little bit over 200 feet away, and I'm going to drive off this concrete pad here and try to hit that basket with everything in my bag from this point. Why am I doing this? Because a lot of things change over a season in disc golf, in my opinion. Your discs wear in a little bit differently. They may warp if you keep it in your car and it gets hot at times. There's different factors that affect your disc and even yourself. Maybe I'm not throwing the same consistency I was as last season, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw and kind of map out and see how every disc lands, and my goal here is to see the consistent flight pattern for every one of my discs in my bag, because I have an idea of how each disc should fly from my past experiences. And this is kind of just like in your checkbook, you're just checking the balance to make sure that all these discs are flying the way that So instead of me flapping any longer, how about I start throwing all these discs, just so that you can kind of get a warm-up feel and you wouldn't expect a lot. I usually start with putters and I build my way up to the driver, because then you're usually warmed up by the time you're doing your driver. So I'm going to start with my AVR putter, and hopefully you'll have a good view right here of how it ends up on my pivot head sunglasses. It's a nice change of pace. You get to see how I look in a video for once instead of my perspective, but I'm going to have hopefully both in this video and you'll see where it lands. So let's try it out. KC Pro AVR. We're going to drive it. And this is good practice if you ever videotape yourself to see how your step is, because it's best to use the X step to get a good amount of distance on your disc. So I'm going to just hold everything like a driver, and I'm going to try to just drive this disc and see how the pattern goes. That's pretty close to the basket. That's good for a putter, driving a putter. Now I'm going to throw my Champion AVR. See how consistent it flies. Whoa, now that one, I can't really blame the disc so much. That was more of not releasing consistently and keeping the angle right, which is a very hard trick. Next, I think I got another putter actually. Yep, hiding up here. My other AVR putt and approach disc. This one's more broken in than the others. It's my very first putter that I ever got, so let's see what kind of flight patterns we get out of it. Ooh, that one's a little beaten in. Actually, I don't know if it's just the way that I'm throwing, but man, that one's got a mean roll to it. Those type of discs have, I usually make them roller discs from what I research online. If you beat them in really good, they're excellent roller discs if you just want a disc to roll for you. So it looks like that's the way that one's going. Now we'll start upping the ante a bit. We got ourselves a mid. Now this is a newer type of mid that's pretty cool. I like it. It's very robust for if you're in congested woods. We have a Atlas Innova disc, and this was pretty interesting because it's the only disc that I have that's actually two separate pieces. The rim is different from the actual disc. All my other discs are all one piece, so let's see how this one flies. Let's try to throw consistent here. There we go. That one's got a nice flight pattern to it. It's kind of interesting that I kind of went about the same distance as my Pro AVR. Now, after that one, here's my go-to mid. Let's see how the rock flies. The wind's starting to pick up, so that's another factor. Ooh, that was a bad release. That one, if I was shooting for the basket, that's the way to go. But keep in mind, I don't normally drive mids or putters. It just kind of feels weird to me, so it's going to feel better when I actually get to the drivers. So now I have my Stingray, and what the Stingray is a very interesting disc. It's kind of like a unique situation disc, I call it, because this disc is designed to fade to the right from a right hand backhand throw. It's supposed to have a natural right fade, and we're going to see if we can make it do that. If thrown properly, you should get a slight right fade, which is hard to do because you should naturally fade to the left when throwing backhand with the right hand like I am. Let's see how it ends up. It looks like it was going to try, but I don't think I had enough flight pattern for it the way through. So it was like a real subtle glide. So now we have our Champion Panther mid-range. And see if we can keep this a little bit more straight than the rest of these. Yeah. Not getting too close to that basket. So far the putters were the most accurate so far. Next, this disc is an interesting mid-range. It's a Fox bat. I've only seen this disc once. I picked it up because I've never seen one before, and I read online that it's a greatly engineered disc. I haven't had very good luck with it. It's going to be interesting to see how it lands. Yeah, not that great for me. I think that's not meant to really drive with that disc. Alright, now here we go. I love this disc. Yes, it's a Discraft disc. I don't just have Innova. I try not to stick to one brand, I just stick with what works, and that's what I recommend in all my videos. Buy what's good for you. Who cares what everybody says about all the brands? Because everybody's different. That's my opinion. So, this is a Discraft Stratus. This is, the Stingray was made to be similar to the Stratus, but I feel the Stratus is actually much better because this is actually considered a long distance driver, and it has a natural fade that I need it to have. So in the direction that wouldn't normally fade in, it should fade more to the right when throwing. So this is a very excellent disc for those select situations that you want it to fade to the right and you still want to throw backhand instead of doing a forehand, because my forehand throw is not that strong yet. So let's try this sucker backhand, see what happens. Oh, that one's got a interesting little dip in there. Very interesting. There we go. Now we're finally getting to the point of some distance drivers. We got ourselves a G Plus Star Wrath. I haven't thrown the Wrath much. I want to say this is more of a forehand disc, but I'm gonna throw it backhand. Let's just see the pattern. This one's still new because I still got the sticker on there. I've maybe thrown it a couple times. I just picked it up for cheap one day for fun. Now that Wrath is cooking. That one's cooking. There we go. There you go. Now I'm getting a lot closer to the basket because I'm actually throwing a driver towards it. The basket is just kind of something to focus on. It's not so much that I expect to hit it with a mid or putter or anything, but hey, if I hit it while it's on tape, I'm not complaining. You know that's going to be in the highlights at the end of the year. So, our next one is a Champion Firebird. This one, I don't throw too often neither. Let's see how it ends up. Actually, that one stayed a lot straighter, but I released it too early. If I would have released that later, it would have turned out a lot better in the accuracy. So, Champion Leopard. This is my go-to for, I kind of call it my straight arrow disc. This one always flies fairly straight for me. Only disadvantage to a very straight flyer is you better be extremely accurate on your release. So, let's take a look. Oh, exactly. I had a bent wrist on that one. It's going to be interesting to keep that one up. And now we have our Champion T-Bird. Champion T-Bird. This is more of a forehand disc for me, but let's see how we can do backhand. Not too bad. Not too bad at all. That T-Bird flew in a similar pattern to the Wrath. And as we get closer to after throwing everything in your bag, I know that sometimes I obviously misstepped, or I kind of didn't release with at a good angle in my wrist. I kind of slipped. But still, overall, you should have a consistency you can compare to where you can be like, oh, well, the Wrath is kind of like a T-Bird that goes a little bit farther for yourself, or something like that. You can see a comparison to keep in your mind for future games. Alright, my go-to Star Katana. I know you guys have seen this in the video, used a lot of times. This is my go-to driver for a lot of situations. Let's see how she flies. Let's nail that goal. Yeah, she flew good. Past the goal. Another one, a Pro Vulcan distance driver. Still has a sticker. I don't think I've thrown this distance. I got it. I got this actually as a Christmas present last year, and I finally have had a situation to try it out. So let's see how a Vulcan flies. I have no clue what to expect, guys. Wow. Maybe it just looked like it, but that Vulcan really seemed to stay up in the air for a lot longer. And it'll be interesting to see which disc flew the farthest, because I'm trying to do the same momentum. I'm not throwing my maximum. I'm throwing kind of in the middle, if anybody's curious. I mean, you don't want to just throw as hard as you can every time, because you're going to tire yourself out from the first disc to the last. So I'm just trying to stay about medium strength, everything I'm throwing here, guys. Keep that in mind too when you're trying to do these tests. Next, my other go-to disc, my Destroyer. My meat hook to the right. I love this disc. Alright. Since I know this sucker likes to hook really hard to the right, I'm going to aim way to the left of the basket. Let's see what we can do. Ah! Nope. And actually I said that reverse. I take that back. You want to throw way to the right of the basket, well I meant not left, so then it hooked to the left. All this left and right stuff gets confusing after a while in disc golf. And last one in my bag, yes it is, Tony Danza. We're talking about a Blizzard Boss here. This sucker is the farthest distance disc for me that I'm aware of. Now that Vulcan seemed to go pretty far with this medium strength throw I've been doing, so I'm going to do the same with this Boss, and we'll see which one is farther in the end. Wow. I gotta say, I think the Boss is still the Boss. The Boss definitely went the farthest distance out of all those, it looks like to me. So basically that's it for this session, guys. I mean, let me know what you guys do when it comes to a new season of disc golf, or when you're trying to, you know, get the rust off and get ready for a new season upcoming. What do you do to warm up or practice, or kind of get ready for a whole new season of disc golf? I personally, I love to throw everything in my bag as a driver and just kind of see how my flight patterns are doing. Kind of warms you up, gives you a good consistency, and get your steps and your muscle memories going, you know what I mean? But either way, please share in the comments below and let me know what you think about this video and what you do to warm up for the disc golf season. I'll talk to you guys next time. Take it easy.